Oh, my fellow days of our lives, Divis, sipping my coffee and diving headfirst into the delicious chaos that is Salem. If you're anything like me, you've got your DVR set to catch every twist, every tear streak confession, every jaw-dropping betrayal that our beloved soap serves up week after week. Today, we're peeling back the layers of one of the most scorching storylines to hit Peacock screens lately, the simmering powder keg surrounding Dimitri von Leuschner, his devoted partner Leo Stark, and the venomous viper in their midst, Gwen Rizczech. We're asking the question that's got every chat room ablaze. If Leo and Dimitri unearth that damning evidence tying Gwen to Dimitri's kidnapping and her recent unholy alliance with the indomitable Vivian Alamain, to frame Dimitri for snatching the DiMera brothers, Gwen finally away once more, leaving a trail of shattered lives in her wake.
As someone who's been knee-deep in days since the days of Roman and Marlena, yes, I remember the original possession story lineages. I can tell you this, Salem doesn't do simple when it comes to justice. Our town thrives on the slow burn of revenge, the electric spark of forbidden love, and the gut-wrenching reveal that turns allies into enemies overnight. And right now, with Dimitri's fate hanging by a thread thinner than one of DiMera's silk ties, we're on the cusp of something explosive. Buckle up, because I'm not just recapping and channeling the ghosts of Concorde's vision, expanding on the whispers of what's to come, and painting this canvas with all the dramatic flair it deserves. We'll revisit the betrayals, dissect the motivations, speculate on the fallout, and yes, invite you to weigh in. After all, what's a day's discussion without a little fan-fueled frenzy? Let's start at the beginning or as close to it as this convoluted plot allows. For the uninitiated though, shame on you if you're not caught up in that Peacock backlog. Dimitri von Leuschner isn't your average soap scion. He's a von Leuschner, for heaven's sake, a lineage dripping with old-world intrigue, espionage, and enough skeletons in the closet to furnish a DiMera crypt. Played with that brooding intensity by Lucas Haas, Dimitri stormed back into Salem like a tempest, his heart entangled with the irrepressible Leo Stark Greg Reichardt, serving campy gold as always. Their romance, a whirlwind of passion and peril, the kind that makes you root for the villains because, let's face it, who else is this committed in a world of flip-flopping fidelity? But love in Salem is never a fairy tale, it's a Faustian bargain, and Dimitri's latest deal with the devil has him staring down the barrel of a prison sentence. It all ignited with the kidnapping, that audacious snatch of Dimitri himself, orchestrated in the shadows by forces we now suspect point straight to Gwen. Picture this, a moonless night at the Kyriakis mansion, there thick with the scent of Olivia's roses and unspoken grudges. Dimitri, ever the strategist, vanishes without a trace, leaving Leo in a frenzy of panic and prayer, rare for a snarky columnist. Whispers flew through Salem like confetti at a Horton wedding. Was it Megan Hathaway seeking revenge for some long-buried von Leuschner slight? Or perhaps Stefano's ghost pulling strings from beyond the grave? No, darling's truth, as it so often does in our fair town, was far more personal and poisonous. Enter Gwen Rizczech, the British bombshell with a smile sharper than a switchblade and a grudge that could fuel a Greek tragedy. Camila Banus breathes fire into Gwen, transforming her from a one-note schemer into a multifaceted force of nature, a woman scorned, a sister slighted, and now, apparently, a kidnapper extraordinaire. Gwen's history with the DiMeras is a tapestry of tragedy, her ill-fated fling with Xander, the Abigail Devereaux debacle that left her exiled and embittered, and that endless quest for legitimacy in a family that chews up its own. But kidnapping Dimitri, that's not just bold, it's a declaration of war. Why him? Because Dimitri represents everything Gwen craves and resents: power, pedigree, and a partnership that mocks her own fractured bonds. In the dead of night, with accomplices we can only imagine, a bribed dockworker, a hacked security feed, Gwen's crew spirits him away to some god-forsaken warehouse on the edge of the river, where the only soundtrack is the drip of water and the echo of her taunts. But Gwen's villainy doesn't stop at abduction. Our girl doubles down, teaming up with none other than Vivian Alamain, the queen of corpse-reviving chaos, Lee Sorrel, still slaying after all these years. Vivian, with her penchant for poison rings and power plays, sees in Gwen a kindred spirit, both women who've been cast as the other woman, the outsider clawing for a seat at the DiMera table. Their collaboration, a masterpiece of misdirection. They cook up a narrative so twisted it could only hatch in Salem. Dimitri, our hapless, handcuffed hero, is the mastermind behind the kidnapping of the DiMera brothers themselves. AJ and Chad, snatched from their own beds, bound and blindfolded in some remote cabin, all pinned on Dimitri in a frame job that reeks of Vivian's signature flair for the theatrical. Imagine the scene in the Brady pub, where the accusations drop like a bomb. Each, his jaw set in that classic DiMera defiance, slams his fist on the table. Dimitri von Leuschner, you've crossed the line one too many times. Kidnapping my brother, my family. You'll rot for this. Chad, ever the voice of fractured reason, paces like a caged panther, his eyes haunted by memories of his own losses. And there, in the corner, smirking behind her martini glass, is Vivian, with Gwen at her elbow, whispering just loud enough for the room to catch. Darling, the evidence is ironclad. Fingerprints, ransom notes, it's all pointing straight to that Teutonic terror. The tension, palpable. The tears, inevitable. Roman Brady hauls Dimitri off in cuffs, while Marlene offers Leo a shoulder that he shrugs off with a quip masking his terror. If anyone's going down for this, Doc, it's not my Dimitri. It's the bitches who think they can play us. Now, pivot to the heart of this saga, Leo Stark, the unlikeliest knight in tarnished armor. Greg Rickard's Leo is Day's gift to us queer fans, a sassy survivor who's been through the ringer from corporate espionage to corpse hiding cover-ups, yet emerges with wit intact and loyalty fiercer than a phoenix. Leo's belief in Dimitri's innocence isn't blind faith, it's forged in the fire of their shared secrets. Remember their wedding, that clandestine ceremony amid the ruins of a DiMera gala, vows exchanged under stars that seemed to wink at their impending doom. Leo knows Dimitri, his vulnerabilities, his vanities, the way he murmurs endearments in German when passion overtakes him. To Leo, the kidnapping charges are absurd. Dimitri couldn't orchestrate a grocery run without Leo's color-coded planner, let alone a high-stakes abduction. So, what does our Leo do? He doesn't wallow. He doesn't beg for mercy from the likes of Hope or Rafe. No, he dives headlong into a partnership with Dimitri that's equal parts Bonnie and Clyde, equal parts Sherlock and Watson. From his cramped apartment above the town square, rent skyrocketing, thanks to Salem's eternal inflation, Leo pores over case files by flashlight, his manicured nails tapping rhythms of resolve. Dimitri, my love, he breathes into a smuggled burner phone. They think they've got us cornered, but I've got a nose for nonsense sharper than Channel's perfumes. We'll sniff out the truth, and when we do, Gwen's going to wish she'd stuck to tabloid takedowns. Their plan unfolds like a noir thriller scripted by Corday himself. Step 1. Infiltrate the evidence locker at the SPD. Leo, with his silver tongue and history of charming his way out of worse, who could forget the stark naked scandal, poses as a bumbling intern, fluttering eyelashes at a rookie cop while Dimitri slipped a visitor's pass through a bribe guard hacks into the digital logs from a nearby terminal. Sparks fly, literally, when their paths cross in the dim-lit corridor, a stolen kiss sealing their pact. For us, Dimitri whispers, his accent thickening with emotion. For the life they can't steal. But the real drama brews in the hunt for that elusive evidence, that smoking gun linking Gwen to the kidnapping. What might it look like? Oh, the possibilities are as endless as Salem's resurrections. Perhaps a discarded glove from the warehouse, monogrammed with Gwen's initials, Griff or guilty as charged, fibers matching her signature crimson coat. Or better yet, a grainy security cam still, frozen in time, Gwen's silhouette, unmistakable in her power heels, directing shadowy figures toward a blacked-out van. Leo and Dimitri, fueled by black coffee and blind devotion, chase leads through the underbelly of Salem, from the docks, where smugglers whisper of a posh Brit bird paying top dollar, to the backrooms of the bistro, where a tipsy bartender recalls Gwen's frantic call for something to keep a man quiet. Chloroform will do. And don't get me started on Vivian's role in this farce. Her accusation against Dimitri isn't just opportunistic, it's a vendetta wrapped in velvet. Vivian Alamain, with her history of burying husbands and battling for boardroom supremacy, sees Dimitri as a threat to her reclaimed DiMera throne. Teaming with Gwen, it's a match made in Hades for women who've lost children, lovers, and legacies to the merciless churn of Salem society. Their late-night powwows in Vivian's opulent penthouse, surrounded by Fabergé eggs and framed photos of Vivian's more loyal days, drip with dark poetry. Gwen pet, Vivian purrs, swirling her absinthe. The von Leuschner boy is a pawn in a game he doesn't understand. We frame him, we fall the DiMeras from within. And if your little kidnapping secret slips, well, darling, secrets are my specialty, buried more than one in my time. As Leo and Dimitri close in, the tension ratchets up to operatic heights. Imagine a midnight stakeout in a rainy alley. Dimitri's collar turned against the downpour, Leo huddled close, their breaths mingling in the chill. A tip from an unlikely Alamain Will Horton, fresh from his own redemption arc, hacking mails that reveal Gwen's wire transfers to the kidnappers. Or Chad DiMera himself, wrestling with loyalty to his family versus the nagging doubt that the real culprit wears Chanel. No. 5. The evidence mounts to a voice recording, Gwen's clipped tones issuing orders, burner phone with text timestamped to the hour of Dimitri's vanishing, even a stray earring, tangled in the warehouse ropes, bearing the crest of Gwen's private club. But will it be enough to convict her? Ah, that's the knife edge we're teetering on. In Salem, justice is as slippery as the banks of the mighty Mississippi that borders our town. Prosecutors like Justin Kyriakis might salivate over the forensics, but Gwen's no novice. She's got lawyers sharper than switchblades, alibis woven from half-truths, and that infuriating Brazilian Seth Sane that saw her claw back from a near-fatal poisoning to reclaim her spot in the spotlight. Picture her in the courtroom, hair swept into a chignon of calculated poise, tears glistening like diamonds as she spins her tale. Me. Kidnapped Dimitri. Your Honor, I was the victim, jilted, jealous, but never criminal. Vivian. A mentor, nothing more. This is a witch hunt by lovers scorned. The fallout, should Leo and Dimitri succeed, would ripple through Salem like a tsunami. Gwen's arrest, a spectacle of flashing lights and frantic pleas, Leo crowing triumph from the courthouse steps while Dimitri, finally free, pulls him into an embrace that silences the crowd. Vivian. She'd vanish into the ether, plotting her return from some exotic exile, perhaps a villa in Tuscany, sipping Chianti and scheming sequels. The DiMeras, fractured anew, with EJ vowing vengeance and Stefan nursing grudges that could topple empires. And our heroes, Leo and Dimitri, battered but unbroken, toasting to the evidence that set us free in a candlelit corner of the pub, their love a beacon in the storm. Yet, for all its promise of poetic justice, I can't shake the day's fatalism whispering in my ear. Will Gwen really go down? Or will a last-minute twist, a coerced confession recanted, a planted doubt let her walk? We've seen it before, villains redeemed, hello, Kristen, heroes humbled, and cycles spinning eternal. Leo's unyielding faith in Dimitri mirrors the best of our soap love as the ultimate detective, and covering truths no badge can touch. But in Salem, evidence isn't just facts, it's emotion, etched in every furrowed brow and whispered
So I turn it
idea.
over to you, my Salem sisters and brothers. Do you believe Leo and Dimitri will unearth that golden proof, dragging Gwen kicking and screaming into the light? Or is this just another layer in the onion suspicion, convening back from Gwen for graveyards? Could Abigail's ghost tip the scales? Let's imagine a watch party under the pom-poms. Until next time, keep those tissues handy and your suspicions sharper. Salem never sleeps, and neither do we.